Hello students, in this question we can see, question is saying triangle ABC has a vertices at A is 1, comma 0, B is 3, comma 6 and C 9, comma 0. We have to find the equation of median Bn. So we have to draw an equation. We have to find the equation of median Bn and equation of altitude AM. So we have to do this question in two parts. So let's solve for the equation of median first. We'll find the equation of median first, right? So for that, we are finding equation of median, equation of median Bn. So for that, we have to draw a median here, which is Bn. So we can write it here. This is our equation, median Bn. Now we know according to the property of median that this divides opposite line into two equal parts. Means we can say AN is equal to the NC here. So can we write according to the property, according to the property of median, property of median is AN is equal to the NC, because median divides opposite line into the two equal parts. So if this is divided into two equal parts, means we can say N is a midpoint of AC. So therefore we can say, therefore N is midpoint of AC. Now, if we can get a coordinates of n here, if we can get the coordinates of n here, then this question will become even more easy. So we know that n is a midpoint of AC. So we can use the midpoint formula for finding the coordinates of n here. So we can write coordinates of n by midpoint formula, by midpoint formula. So midpoint formula is for the x coordinate x1 plus x2 over a 2, and for the y coordinate it's a y1 plus y2 over a 2. So where x1 we can take this one, y1 is 0, x2 is a 9 and y2 is a 0 here. So if we'll put all these values in this formula, then we will get x is equal to the x1 is a 1 plus x2 is a 9 over a 2, comma y is a y1 which is 0 plus 0 over a 2. So can we write here x coordinate we have 10 over a 2 which is 5 and y coordinate 0 over a 2 which is 0. So we can say the coordinates are 5, comma 0. Now we got the coordinate of n here. Now our question was that we have to find the median, equation of median Bn. So equation of median. Now we have to find the equation of median Bn. So if we have to find the any equation in the mathematics, we have to use equation formula, and we know that our equation formula for any line is y minus b m x minus a. So we can write it y minus b is equal to the m x minus a, where a and b we can take either 3 comma 6 or either we can take 5 comma 0, because we are finding the equation of this line Bn. So either we can take the b coordinate as a comma b, or either we can take the n coordinate as a 5 comma 0. So suppose we are taking 3 comma 6 as our a and b. So this is our a and this is our b. And m, we have to find m as well. So for finding the m, we have formula here. So if suppose we have to find m for the gradient, so we can use the formula for the gradient. So the formula will be m is equal to the y2 take away y1 over a x2 take away x1 m, and we are finding the gradient. of the BN line. So we can consider 3, 6 is x1, y1 and 5, 0 is a x2, y2 for the gradient. So y2 is a 0 take away 6 and x2 is a 5 take away 3 which is equal to the negative 6 over a 2 which is equal to the negative 3. So m value, that is how we got the negative 3. So substitute all this value in this formula. So y minus b we consider 6, m we consider negative 3, x minus a we are considering 3. Let's solve that. So y minus 6 is equal to the negative 3x, negative negative become positive 9. We can also write y plus 3x. We are shifting this negative 3x on other side. So 9 minus 6 will become plus 6. So this is 3x plus y is equal to the 9 and 6 is of 15. So this is our equation of a line median BN. So that's our answer of equation of median. Let's find now the equation of altitude AM. So for that, let's delete this question up to here. So we had already find the equation of median BN. Now we have to find the equation of altitude AM. So we know what is called the altitude. Altitude is a line which cuts opposite line at 90-degree angle, which cuts opposite line at 90-degree angle. Means we can say AM is perpendicular to the BC because it is cutting at opposite line at 90-degree angle. So AM is perpendicular to the BC. It means according to the, if two lines are the perpendicular, then we can say that gradient, the product of the gradient is also equal to the negative one. So we can write gradient of AM and gradient of BC will, product will give us negative 1. So we have to find the equation of M. For finding any equation, we require the point AB, which is we can take 1, 0, and we also require the M value. M is called the gradient. So we don't have M coordinates at here and we cannot find the M coordinates. But yes, if we can find out the coordinate of BC here, and we know that BC and AM both are perpendicular, so whatever the gradient of BC, we can easily find out then the gradient of AM by the using this property of perpendicularity, right? So let's find out first the gradient of line BC. So gradient of line BC formula is a y2 take away y1 over a x2 take away x1. So can we write gradient is equal to the, this is x1 y1 we can consider, and this is x2 y2. So 0 take away 6 divided with a 9 take away 3, which is equal to the negative 6 over a 6, which is equal to negative 1. So the gradient of a BC line is equal to the negative 1. Now can we write here equation of altitude is given by equation of altitude of line AM is y minus b is equal to m x minus a, where a we can take 1, b we can take 0, and m is, therefore the gradient of BC is coming negative 1. So according to the property, that gradient and gradient of AM line will gives us a negative 1. So can we flip it? So negative 1 will become 1 and to change the sign. So after that the gradient will become 1. We can use this property to find out the gradient. If that gradient is negative 1, so the gradient of AM will be the positive 1 here. Now, if we substitute all this value, so y minus 0, m is 1, x minus 1 here, y is equal to the x minus 1, and that is how we can find out the line, which is y minus x is equal to the negative 1, or we can write x minus y equal to the positive 1. So that would be the line of the altitude m. This gradient, how we found out it here, we know the gradient of m and gradient of BC is equal to -1. So let me show it here you how we find out. So gradient of AM we don't know, but gradient of BC is -1 is equal to the -1 at here. So if we write it, gradient of AM is equal to the -1 and this is in multiply, so we'll goes in divide. So gradient of AM will become -1 cancel 1. So that is how we got it. The gradient of AM is also 1 at here, and we can substitute all the value and we can get our answer.